the whole system is geared towards you being like disintegrated and hurt for the rest of your life, and probably go mad and maybe commit the S word if it gets really super bad. Like, that's basically what this stuff does to you, or can do to you. Yeah. And so yeah, so me and T. Okay, so I was like, oh, this is normal, and then I was like, oh no, it's not. It's grape. And then I was like, figured that out after that protest and realizing that that had happened to me and that that was wrong. And then I ended up like telling all my friends because I was like trying to get support. But obviously, some of my friends were friends with him and his friends. So like it was quite awkward. But I broke up friends with him, and then my housemate went out with his housemate, and then it was kind of like he was like reintroduced and re-accepted into my friendship group. Before, like, no one, like, she didn't ask me if that was okay, and that's my first lesson of like, this is not as important as him and these men and my relationships. And that is so true. Like, you can see time and time again with these stories that that is prioritized and protected, and you are gunned for, and you are discredited, you are disrespected, you are kind of framed as someone that you can't believe. That's deliberate by the culture and by the people in power who does this stuff all the time to people way younger than me, basically from birth, it sounds like. Like, that is a deliberate culture choice, and like a way to teach us about that and to be subordinate to SA and DA, you know. Anyway, yeah, it's just so interesting and obviously so messed up, and also messed up that she did that. But it's just very illustrative of what happens. Like, I basically went proper mad because I was like spending time with him, and then I was getting triggered while spending time with him. So a lot of the time I like didn't make any sense, like when I was talking to people, because I was so triggered that I was like, I obviously looked quite like mad. Yeah, yeah, it's just lots of stuff that yeah, it's difficult. And then I had an actual psychotic episode afterwards, and that was really interesting. But I'll talk about that another day. Yeah. Yeah, that's when I was like, I need to stop. Like, I can't actually, like, I'm going to self-destruct if this continues. I remember talking to this SA therapist specialist, so it was really good to get specialists to help if you have been affected by these things. And I was like, oh, I've got to, like, hang out with him, and I've got to, like, you know, be there for him as a friend, and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, no, you don't. And I was like, no, I don't. Oh yeah, but that wasn't taught in the culture, you know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like there was this other really horrible time when my other friend Milo, was it Milo? God, I can't remember. He was my friend though, but I've just got bad memory. It was a long time ago. Yeah, we had like seen each other a bit, but like I made it clear I wasn't interested in him in this period, and also like I was polyamory as well, and I was like interested in other people at that time. And yeah, I was up for being friends with him. To be fair, like it's not super clear. I think yeah, I think there's a part of the stuff where it's like communication as well. Like there's consent confusion as well that can be instead of or in addition to SA. So sometimes I've thought it was SA, but it's actually consent confusion, which is another thing. But with this guy, like no, um, I was very clear that I wasn't up for it, and I kept being like no to him. And he was like, it was at a party, and he was like, it's a scary story, but this is kind of thing that kind of people deal with. Yeah, he was like much bigger than me, guy, and I was at this house party. In full view of everyone, he was like coming up to me and like kind of pushing my face into his face and like kissing me, like when I didn't want to. And yeah, it was awful, and it was in front of everyone. I kept being like shouting at him and like telling him off, and but no one like did anything or like batted an eyelid, or that no one was like, oh, now just shouting at someone, well maybe I should do something or get involved or like help them. If I saw that, that's the thing, like I have seen that like two carriages down on the, oh, I can't remember what it's called, but that like train like thing, tram in London, DLR, whatever. Anyway, and like no one helped them for ages. And obviously, when you got in that situation, when there's like a man and a woman fighting, like I would always intervene and protect the women because statistically they need more protection than they do. Doesn't mean that the dude could be right about the situation, but it's not, you just have to act as according to the system that you're given. So anyway, yeah, I just walked straight down these two cabs and I was like, what is going on? And I like stood in between them in front of her and was like, leave her alone. Like, you need to give her space. Because she was accusing him of like the R word and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's not true, but that's not the point. Like, statistically, it is probably true. And anyway. Anyway, so no one intervened, and that's another thing, like people just ignoring it as well, or like accepting DA or like SA or those kind of associated behaviors is like normal. Anyway, and then yeah, it got to the point where I was like hiding in rooms. I was like hiding in the dark in this room because I was like so freaked out because he kept calling my name. He was like screaming my name in this house, like looking for me. It was absolutely terrifying. And he came in this room and he was like, oh, there you are, and like pushed me down and like kissed me and like and I was like, no, get off me. And then this person, like other guy came in the room and obviously thought it was like an actual romantic interaction, and then was like, oh, sorry, and closed the door. So it was complete darkness, and I was like, this is absolutely horrific. Anyway, finally got off him, like managed to get out, and like and then I like saw one of my guy friends. Oh my god, it's so frustrating. Anyway, I saw one of my guy friends and I was like, Ewan, could you please help me? I'm like, Milo's just like screaming and like chasing me basically, and I need your help. And he was like, okay, let's go in this room. Lock me in this room. And then I was just knackered on the bed, just like, oh, like this, like fucking hell. And then he comes onto me in the fucking bedroom, and I'm like, oh my god. And at that point I was like, fuck it, whatever. But like, you know, I wouldn't have wanted that. Like, if I had a choice, I wouldn't have chosen that. Yeah. So that is kind of another one, which is not funny, but it's like, it's like whatever, like whatever. It wasn't like it was fine. It's fine. I just I don't know. It's weird, man. So yeah. So that wasn't great. And I kind of relied on this person for safety now, so I kind of just stuck around in that room. Yeah, just for the next few days because I was just freaked out and scared. And yeah, and it was kind of framed as like, oh, this person's got this person, like, you know, Ewan's got with me, that's so cool, which is like nice of them in a way because they weren't aware of the whole context. But yeah, it just felt very much like I was like a trophy, and like also that I couldn't talk about what happened. Like, I was like outside crying at one point, like in the middle of the first guy Milo stuff, and this lady was outside and she was like, are you okay? But she said it in a way that was like, oh, I have to do this kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's just very normal and normalized but ignored. But I've never been okay with that, so I've always talked about it. And yeah, I just think it's quite healthy to talk about it. It is what happened. It's something to do with me. That's why I don't feel like ashamed about it, because I'm like, well, that's nothing to do with me, mate. Like, it's just that I'm vulnerable. Like, that stuff happens a lot to vulnerable people. Yeah. It's not because, like, whether or not someone's conventionally attractive or not, it's based on their vulnerability levels, really, a lot of the time. And that's another thing, like, it tells us about how to, like, organize society and structure society, which should be prioritizing vulnerable people, protecting them first, building ways of protecting whistleblowers of every kind. Like, whistleblowers are some of the most endangered people and at risk people, and they need actual structures that we build as a community to protect those people. Sorry, I'm just getting so annoyed. We basically need an anarchist feminist army. Yeah. And like, but the powers that be won't let us do that, and they'll do everything in their power to stop that from happening. Yeah, but I don't want to KILL myself, just so we're all clear, even though I'm sure I'm not on their list, but who knows what could happen. Which is weird because the CIA, no, you can't spell that one out because it's already spelled out. Their unclassified documents about like the nature of reality, they say that we do win in the end. How exciting! It's just a question of when. And these kind of techniques and these kind of tips that I'm giving you, or whatever, that you probably know already, you probably know what I'm talking about, these help speed it up. So let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna listen to my music again. I just love listening to music and singing. It's just the best. I mean, I had loads more things to say, really, but it's a lot. Like, I have to do it carefully, and yeah. And I just, don't shout about me, please. Please, this is interesting. This is useful. Ugh. Anyway. So frustrating. That's another thing. Like, we need to create our own social media. We need to create, if we're going to have social media, it needs to be community-led, grassroots, not millionaire, billionaire corporations, corpo kind of BS. And then we need to make sure that never happens. And then, like, that's what we need to do. And then we'll be fine. And also, we need to get off our phones more. But yeah, so, like, I'm not surprised that the people in power are doing that stuff. Well, actually, I'm surprised, if I'm honest. But, like, it's worse than I thought. But it's, like, weird, isn't it? Because people knew how bad Trump was in many respects. Like, there was, like I haven't looked into it loads, but I know there was, like, legal cases against him. I'm sure a lot of them had, like, been officially closed as, like, yes, he's guilty, like, and paid, like, maybe lots of money been exchanged. But, like, everyone knew he did horrible stuff to women and femme people before. So, like, what do you expect? Like, of course he would do that. Like, he seems someone that is versed in hurting people, you know. Yeah, it is a battle of good and evil, and we're gonna win, and it's just gonna take a lot of labor. Yeah, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of stuff. And, like, the people that are survivors and the vulnerable people, they need the most help and support in a community. And that's another thing that's really interesting, is, like, the more privilege you have, and if you have done bad, difficult stuff, because we all have done bad stuff, like, you know, you are even more, you are in debt to people, and you need to help, and you need to, like, use your privilege for good, and you need to, like, help create a sustainable feminist, like, world where we help each other and we're there for each other, and we can self-sustain without these evil prick RICKS. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Anyway, there's so much more to say, but I can't. It's just so much. But I hope this has been interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna listen to music. I definitely need to make music. That's what I need to do. Need to make music, listen to music, dance to music.